You can tell by the way I'm dressed, we finally had a strong cold front. Big cold front, pre-rut, not much is better in the whitetail hunter's world. But with that, I want to share a couple of things that are important. We talk a lot about food and other things, but right now, it's real important to talk about cover. I want to define cover first, and cover, you know, is from the ground to the waist or maybe your shoulders. It's thick there. Cover above my head doesn't do anything for a white-tailed deer. Thick native grasses and standing forbs, possibly a bunch of saplings. That's my least favorite type of cover for several reasons. One, you can't shoot into it very well, and those saplings grow up quickly, 2 or 3 years, and become pole-sized trees, and then, you know, it's no cover. We're talking thick and gnarly. Maybe here in the Ozarks or Oklahoma somewhere, you've felled a lot of cedars, got those cedar carcasses laying there, cedar skeletons, and you've burned and got grasses growing up. All these are good forms of cover for a white-tailed deer. If you've got, you know, a big bramble patch behind your house and you're training your bird dogs or your rabbit dogs there every day, that's probably not good cover for deer. Why now? I mean, they use cover year-round, but right now with these strong fronts, strong winds, and bucks are really starting to pester does tend to seek that thick cover to get away from those doggone pestering bucks. And those bucks are getting cover, cruise around trying to bump up a doe, almost like a beagle trying to get a rabbit up and put the chase on. So this time of year, cooler, drier air, strong wind, it's better for a hunter, or hunters have a better opportunity to get closer to thick cover without alerting deer. Now, ideally, I want to get real close to cover, but not in it, and I want to be on the downwind side because a buck's going to cruise the downwind of that cover unless it's a really big block and use his sense of smell to check that cover block for receptive does. This could happen any time of day, so if you've got an area, maybe you've purposely made cover like we have here at the Proving Grounds too. We felled a bunch of cedars or used fire or did TSI, whatever we've done to make cover. And if we're making cover, then hopefully we're thinking about how we're going to approach, hunt, and exit without alerting deer. We're not just making cover willy-nilly, but maybe you're hunting somewhere that a logging operation or something has made cover. Maybe you didn't do it as part of the land management there. You still want to think about being able to approach, hunt, and exit without blowing out the deer in the cover. But this time of year especially, I feel much more comfortable about getting in and crowding that cover and waiting for those bucks to cruise to downwind side. Now, that's when I'm hunting with my prime archery hunting. If I'm hunting with the Winchester, ideally I can get on a slope over here and see in the cover over here, vice versa. I can see into those larger cover blocks and know that bucks may be going through there trying to bump up a doe. I would say that this time of year, the pre-rut and the rut, is the most important time of year to hunt next to or where you can see into cover.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, Moultrie Mobile, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Burrell Targets, Fourth Arrow, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Ward Laboratories, Burris Optics, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
Because of the deer's behavior, when we use the deer's behavior as the basis for our hunting, they need food or they need a certain type of food, or right now they're those receptive does, which is the primary attraction for bucks, even over food right now. The receptive does are seeking thick cover. Not just any doe. You're going to see a bunch of does in food plots that's getting colder in that acorn flat or whatever. But a receptive doe is going to get really pestered. Research has clearly shown often when a doe has twins, there's a better than a 25% chance their stepbrother or stepsister. She was bred by multiple bucks during that 24 to 36 hour receptive period. That's, you know, the creator's way of making sure there's plenty of genetic diversity in the whitetail world. And so they're being harassed a lot. And that thick cover can be a shield, just like if you and I were worried we might get in thick cover to hide from someone trying to find us. So I'm not looking where there's the most does. I think some hunters make that mistake. There's a bunch of does in the group. It's rare that one of them is going to be receptive from my observations. They're going about that normal day pattern, but if I'm buck hunting this time of year, the primary attraction is that receptive doe, and they're going to be coming to or in thick cover. Now, another thing you can set this up is a pinch point going to thick cover. Maybe they're out feeding somewhere and they're going through a bottleneck or a pinch point to spend the day in that thick cover. That's also a great, late pre-rut, rut hunting location. You want thick cover from the ground to waist or shoulder tall that no one's going through, that you can approach, hunt, and exit based on the wind that day without alerting deer, or a bottleneck or a pinch point going in that thick cover. To me, those are some of the best rut hunting stands I've found throughout my career. I hope these observations and tips based on research, there's a lot of deer out there wearing GPS collars, helps you in the next couple of weeks. But even more important than wrapping your tag on a good buck is wrapping your faith around the Creator and listening to His will for your life daily. Through being quiet or reading His Word is how we communicate with the Creator and seek His will and apply it to our lives. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.